Hello, Teresa Phelps Martin, and I'm here with the energetic insights for the Leo new moon that is happening August 16th, 2023 at 5:38 a.m. Boom! Lots of detail just there. But these energetic insights are here to help you, I like to say, live soul-centered and cosmically aligned, feeling that connection to co-create, but to really get into your own essence and your own truth. And I can't help but say that is so much what this energetic signature is about. So, the many in the one is a wisdom truth or spiritual truth that I've marinated on for, gosh, 15 years. But it's this idea, I'm going to simplify it, that we have the one sun that we live by, right? It determines our days, our years, our lives. Okay, we all celebrate our birthday, not because it was the day we were born. It's really because we've gone back to the moment that the sun is where it was in the sky, that moment we individuated and became our own individual person. The sun is its own individual ball of fire, but there are many balls of fire that come together that create the universe. So we each have our own hearts that come together and beat, and together we have the collective heart. So we couldn't have just the one, because with just the one would be bored, right? Like there would be no sort of other energy to it. And what this is all about, the many and the one, in this particular new moon energy, is the moon and the sun come together to be at one. And wildly, just days before this new moon, Venus and the sun came together to be the one. And so every time a planet meets up with the sun in the sky, it's kind of like a sacred reset. And so if we have this sacred reset every month, every new moon that's been going on for billions of years, then we can kind of tap into this to help feel the energetic guidance that can shape and help give us direction in our lives. I don't know. I like to have purpose. I like to have meaning, and I like to be authentic. And so this is why I'm showing up. So if you're here, thank you. Thank you. If you're new to tuning into this, stay with me. You might find some really cool stuff. And I will be talking a little bit at the end about the lunar circle that is happening on August 14th before the new moon. So this moon, any new moon is a chance for a new beginning, right? The sun and the moon are meeting up in the sky. They're having this connection. But we want to look at where all the other heavy hitters are. So Venus is in Leo. She's retrograde. Will have just hung out with the sun, which is a Venus star point, which is another conversation altogether. But there's that flavor a lot in this. We have Chiron, the wounded healer, which is an asteroid, but it's gaining a lot of conversation because so much of this energy leading into this new moon is really about tending to the wounds of our heart, acknowledging how we've worked with them, slowing down and connecting to, what have we healed? What can we honor that we've been really able to grow through and become more of ourselves? These wounds, in my opinion, suck. They're painful, they're horrible, they're hard, but they're there to keep us human. They're there, they keep us grounded. They're there, they keep us connected to one another. And they're there to help teach us, right? How do we evolve? How do we grow? And the energy leading into this moon is very strong with this Chiron. We have Mars that's in Virgo, just helping, taking the fruit from the trees and feeding and nourishing, and not just connecting to what matters in our heart, but taking action with it. But it's not going super fast. And then Mercury, well, that gets interesting. Mercury is also in Virgo. So lots of details, has anybody else's mind been going supercharged lately. I just recently got 3 hours of sleep. I went to bed early, woke up at 12:34 and was up. Oh, for a very long time after that. Fortunately, the next night I got a lot of sleep, and so I'm well rested now. But it was just this charge. There wasn't worry, it wasn't anxiety, it was just a charge. So Mercury being in Virgo, there's a lot of that. So we want to watch that tendency to be critical and hard on ourselves. This moon is in that Leo signature this month that's asking us to come back to self-love, self-value, self-compassion, self-honor. So I just shared Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Chiron. But here's the jam. Jupiter has a hand in this because Jupiter will trine. It'll perfect its trine with Mars. So that benevolence, that abundance, that goodness, that kindness, that Jupiter loves being in Taurus. And because it's big, it's known, it's reliable, there's a goodness that we can count on right now. And then Mars is here in Virgo of getting things done, tidying things up, being of service, and they're coming together. And then we have Uranus squaring this energy. The full moon that happened a couple weeks ago squared Jupiter. So now the sun has moved further. Now we're squaring Uranus. So there's big love in this moon, but it's not outward love, it's inward love. And there's challenges. Challenges are strong right now. I mean, come on. Let's face it. But we want to use this in a way of like, okay, the challenge slows us down so we can be more innovative. We can be more creative. So if we can take, if you're with me at all, if you can take all of this energy that I just shared and go inward and connect back to like, what is your sense of self? What is your sacred spark? What is your soul calling forward? And can you give yourself time to reflect, which is what the new moon is really giving us this permission to do. And you have your own personal new moon every month too, by the way. That's called your lunar return. And in my opinion, it's a really good thing to tap into on a monthly basis. But I share this because we're all under the energetic skies of the Leo new moon. But if you want to know more about your lunar return, just comment. We can get together and have a conversation. And what this energy is a reset and a renewal. So we have this new moon with a lot of energy of Venus, which is in Leo, the sun's in Leo, the moon's in Leo. So that's a lot of fixed fire. What sustains you? What is this inner desire of your heart, your soul? What's your soul sustenance? What is giving you this energy? How does it need to be cared for? How does it need to be respected and honored? And how are you valuing this? This is so important. And what is it that allows you to come alive? What is it you're passionate about? What is it that invokes energy and enlivens things? What brings you joy? All of these questions are things you want to use this time to reflect on, because the square to Uranus is going to create like some commotion, right? And in this commotion, though, we want to really connect to our own inner self. Call on that heavenly light. Look within, look above, really tap into what within your own skin and bones, and beyond the physiological, beyond the mental, beyond the spiritual, getting beyond the emotions, getting to the soul, to your essence, that sense of self. Those little wounds are part of what make you you. And we've inherited a lot. But right now with Chiron and Aries, it's about looking at our own And how do we want to stop the passing on of these wounds, right? That's another conversation. But this idea of the many in the one. How do you come to the one within you? How do you invite the connection to the divine one and see that divinity within yourself, that you are created from this energy and for this energy? And how can you lighten up with yourself and bring in that energy of reflection to receive what it is you really want to give to this precious life of yours, to give out into the world, to shine, to be true with, to be real with. And as you come into this, this moon is just this kind of point of pause. Because we're going to have a full moon, right? A full moon always happens after the new moon. And when that full moon comes, though, it's in Virgo. The sun will be in Virgo and the moon will be in Pisces. So we're in a totally different narrative. This new moon will reveal her beautiful self in 18 months, right? So what's going to come forward with this moment will show up in 18 months. So we're not going to see the full light of this time of the self-worth and the self-value. What's the narrative, right? This is the energy of that Mercury being in Virgo that's in its storm. So what it means is that it's now with this new moon, Mercury is hitting the degree points that this is its first trip over. Then Mercury will go retrograde in Virgo and it'll revisit all these points. And then that laugh was like, oh no, does that mean I'm going to be up again all night? So I'll take note of that and I'll just be mindful to really care for myself. And then Mercury will go over all these things again. So this new moon creating this energy in Leo after the moon and, the moon and Venus, but the sun and Venus had a sacred meeting. The moon meets Venus every month. The sun does not meet Venus every month. So this sacred union of resetting and re-invoking your own heart. So even maybe just getting more intentional around love. How do you receive love? How do you give love? Are you giving more than you're receiving? Because when that moon goes to full in Pisces, we're going to be with the energy of Saturn on that full moon. And so we want to do the things now. So when chaos comes or challenges come, chaos is a little extreme, but I've lived with a lot of chaos, so that's kind of my normal. When the challenges present itself, what are you doing to take care of yourself? How are you in a healthy, loving conversation with your innermost self and receiving support, seeking support, being true to yourself, looking at how you're caring for yourself in a way that, are you giving yourself love or are you tearing yourself apart? It's not sustainable to tear ourselves apart. And when this moon goes full in Pisces, we're really integrating in this self-love, this big love. We can play hard, but we have to work hard, okay? And when we pull these in, we get into this oneness with ourselves, with our soul. Our soul never leaves our side. Sometimes we get so separate from it, we want to check out. And then that's a bigger soul journey. But our soul is always there for us. And even when this moon goes full, this lunar cycle goes full, there might be emotional tides, or it might just be a little melancholy, lots of shifts, lots of changes. Maybe things didn't shake out the way you wanted them. But we have always this permission to grow. When the moon goes new, when the moon and the sun conjunct, it is the last aspect the moon makes while it's in the sign of Leo. So that means for the rest of the day until the moon moves into Virgo, it's void of course. So what this does for me is amplify the importance of being reflective, of being contemplative. Venus had already suggested this when she had her rendezvous with the sun on Sunday morning. Now here it is, Wednesday morning, and it's this time to say, hey, what if I look at how I'm engaging in my life? And in that reflection, not being judgmental or critical, but look at this energy of refinement. Looking at our sense of self, what do we know? How are we schooling ourselves? How are we nourishing, right? How are we articulating this energy within? What's the inner conversation? How are we having our needs met and caring for ourselves? And then how are we allowing this to come alive? To energizing our own unique nature so that we can shine. Not to be all egoic and I'm amazing and you're not. No. To be in this way of you hold a sacred energy, I hold a sacred energy, and so we can hold that space for ourselves. I mean, yes, right now I want to remind you that you can work with me one-on-one. You can also work with me. Sorry, it is not of my nature to promote myself. I like to share these for the sake of sharing. But the lunar circle is a great chance to come together with other people. Sometimes doing that deeper inner work brings up a lot of fear and anxiety because we're vulnerable. But it's when we connect to that vulnerability that we really awaken to our innermost desire, to our most sacred energy, and then we know how to nourish her differently and care for her differently. So the lunar circles are a chance to have this therapeutic support. I have a lot of questions to help you in the contemplation through this whole lunar cycle, because there's no way you could get through them all in one sitting. But then it's a chance to be in conversation with like-minded individuals. It's kind of where the coach in me meets the therapist in me, that meets the astrologer. That's why I call myself a coach, a counselor, and a consultant, because I consult the cosmos. And in that energy, we can come together and make connection. In that circle, in that sacred space that we really respect the different opinions and the different ways of being, but allow our voices to be heard. So that's the lunar circle. It's happening August 14th, so before the new moon. So you can really be in a place of feeling prepared for the perfection, the moment where it all comes together, right? And you can be in this place of being in a greater cosmic alignment with this energy, so you can be more centered in your own soul. And in my opinion, when we're centered in our soul, and we're centered with love, we're grounded, we have that connection, we have compassion and curiosity and creativity and confidence and courage, then all of a sudden we connect with the possibility. And it's possible for us all to shine brightly and brilliantly together. So I could probably talk for a lot longer, but I'm going to pause there. I really appreciate all of you who tune in, who are listening. For those of you who want to do the lunar circle, I am limiting the number. It is a small, intimate group because I want to make sure there's room for voices to be heard. Although I know some of us just like to sit back and listen. The link you can find in the comments below. And but if you even just want to comment and share what your intentionality is, how can you be more intentional? How can you give yourself a better relationship with love, with your love within yourself, with the love that you want to give in your life and receive in your life? But even to shelf the word love for a moment, like what do you want to create? What are you passionate about? What do you want to give energy to? this is all here for you. It's all waiting with this new moon, with this new cycle, and we have each other. We have the grit, we have the grace, we have the growth, we have the ability to evolve and embody and embellish this great, great opportunity to live. So I will be back with more insights. The energetic signature for Virgo season is around the corner. And I will also be sharing the Virgo new moon energetic insights at a later date. So subscribe, pay attention, follow, like all those things that social media asks us to do, because that's what allows these ideas that maybe are resonating for you to reach others. And that's what's more important to me, that I can give this generously. And then also when you're ready to make the leap, have a little tighter space to really do the sacred work together. So as always, be real, be true, be so fully you. You are amazing, you are brilliant, you are bright, and I appreciate you for showing up. And I will be with you again very soon.